Do you know, this is like the season finale. I have watched from episode 1 to episode 12 of the Real Housewives of Lagos. But to be honest with you, in all of the episodes that I've watched, this is by far the realest feeling or emotion that I have seen in Mariam. Like, not just Mariam, like literally all of this housewives, the cast of this housewives of Lagos, like with all the expressions back and forth and all of that, this is by far the realest. At this point, Diadem, you became a bully. You said these ladies were bullying you. At this point, in fact, you might not understand what I'm saying, or some of you might have understood, but you just want to listen to my own review on the other spectrum of the show. But let's begin. If you're seeing this for the first time, my name is Asma'u. And please don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Please promote it. If you don't give it a thumbs up, how will YouTube recognize that it's a video that is watchable, that is worth watching? Thank you so much for coming back. If you came back, returning subscribers and all of that. And most of the people that are watching me are not even subscribed. Why now? Why? The subscribe button is there. Just press subscribe, then on the notification bell to all. It's totally free. No subscription at all, no subscription payment. You know, I'm trying to say to you, but subscribe. Okay, it started from Diadem at a beautiful store. I think store for accessories. Yeah. So she invited Dabota. You know, last week episode where they had that clash with Mariam. Okay, Diadem, like I said it. Go back and watch my video of episode 11, my review. I said it. When Dabota left, it affected Diadem emotionally. Hence that unnecessary outburst. Honestly, I just said it in passing. I'm like, because as much as there's heavy editing here, like I always say, there was just something about the moment Dabota stepped out, because it's like immediately Dabota stepped out, that's when Mariam stepped in and the whole thing happened. Her outburst was just too much. She was telling Dabota, you left me, and she portrayed the fact that and last there was something she now eventually said. She said Mariam, they were bullying her. So it means that it wasn't like all through the show they have been bullying. You just felt at that moment, you saying you didn't want to speak about Caroline and Mariam insisting she was going to call Caroline was a sort of bullying to you, which I'm glad she made that very clear. Because at some point we actually thought, that's by the way. So after then, they did their shopping and she narrated whatever she narrated to Dabota. And she said she cried. Like the way Diola painted herself as the victim was too much for me to bear. Like I was just looking. Like she narrated everything that happened quite okay, word for word, real. She didn't lie. But she added these emotions in it that made it look like, in fact, even that was like, you should have called me. I'm glad now they are watching everything from the comfort of their homes, and even the Dabota would just be laughing. Diadem exaggerated everything, but that's by the way. Caroline invited the girls to her house. But you know, when I mean the girls, definitely Diola is not going to be there. Dabota is not going to be there. Her girls, Laura, Sophia, and Mariam, they came to her house and it was so divine. Like they did henna, they drank fura, no. She just, her ex-husband is from the north. So married to him for 11 or 13 years. They're about over a decade, though I'm not too specific about the years, but I know they married for more than 10 years. So of course, as a Calabar girl, if I'm not mistaken, I'll be a quite born girl, I don't know which of them, she adopted the northern culture because her kids, of course, are northerners. So she is very familiar with what the northerners eat, their beauty, their aesthetics, all of that. Sophia too, very, very familiar. Obviously, Sophia speaks Hausa fluently. Yeah. So they were all seated, and that was where, to be honest with you, these ladies spoke fact. I might say for the very first time, in as much as this is the season finale, and honestly, I don't know what I was expecting, but the season finale did not season finale for me. I don't know. That's me. I don't know. Maybe the rest of you that might have watched it were very cool with it. For the first time since they started the season, these ladies did not really sit down and talk from maybe a gossiping point of view or malicious point of view per se. Although it's not like gossips even fly in this Real Housewives, because it's almost like the talk is always moving from one junction to another. So it's more of instigation. I don't even call it whatever they see as gossip. I just see it as instigations and all of that. And I don't know if this Real Housewives franchise, you have to meet a certain target for you to be invited back. I don't know, because if you notice the two newbies, which happen to be Diadem and Dabota, they seem to be overdoing things, which in that conversation at Caroline's house, Sophia complained that Diadem just loses it, and that is it. Diadem tend to just shout. I don't know, maybe the I don't know, Lagos girl life. I don't know, but she just tends to shout. And the thing about communication or conversations in general is the fact that when you shout, when you say things at the top of your voice, there's 80% chances that you will not be heard. Calm down. You can be passive aggressive, no problem, since it's a quarrel, and then say what you want to say. Not to be on your and the thing is that she doesn't even allow people around to even know why she's angry. They said during the issue she had with Mariam that Mariam was very clear. Mariam said what she wanted to say and just shot it. But Diadem kept ranting because she was not, even if I use the word shouting, it even still makes sense. There's communication in shouting. She was literally ranting, blah 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 blah. Okay, Sophia said. Then Laura made a statement, and which I have even said it here before, if I'm not mistaken. Dabota should calm. Like, Dabota is overdoing it, and there are times that you would just see when the camera, like when she's taking unawares, you would see that Dabota is a very calm person. But the moment she notices the camera is on her, or she overdoes things, and that was what Laura said. Honestly, look at Dabota at home with her daughter. You will know that that's a very calm-headed, cool, like that's a very lovely lady. But the moment she's in her element with those ladies, she is, I don't know if Dabota came into the show, maybe trying to mimic one of the characters of the Housewives of franchise, not our local Nigerian franchise. Probably one of those. To me, I'm seeing a little bit of Portia in her. I'm seeing a little bit of Kenya in her. I'm seeing a little bit of what's this lady's name? This one that is so loud. Is it Ava? If I'm not mistaken, I'm talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta. She seemed to like have watched those housewife franchise and picked some kind of element or character or attitude from those women and put upon herself and added plus her Dabota spices. And it's almost like she is forcing things to happen. See, if Dabota just sits with her calm demeanor, with her beautiful, and Dabota is a queen. Now that attitude she's putting is even making her look plastic. Like today's confessional, or rather episode 12 that I just watched, to her confessionals there, she was looking calm. You understand? As much as well, there wasn't anything much happening. She was looking like she was just, I don't know, there was just something about her that is totally different from her other confessionals. You understand? So probably why the filming kept going on, so many things happened and so many things changed there and there. And there, and one of the confessionals as well, Sophia also complained about the fact that Diola allows herself to be too triggered, which literally that's, will I use the word hot tempered as well? And then there was this open conversation they spoke about Diola still and the Dabota, where at first they were looking down on Sophia, hence the reason why she called Sophia +1, and that's very correct. You know, it was, in fact, for the first time, these ladies actually had a conversation that made sense. Honestly, it didn't come off like, that these ladies actually looked down on Sophia, not onto Sophia proved them wrong. We're not onto Sophia, will I say, checkmate them, or even Sophia delivered. That was when these ladies Now, especially that because that at the end of the day, to cut the long story short, honestly speaking, if next season that Bota and Diola are coming back, please, you guys should just be yourself. To some extent, I'll say that Bota even put herself, like I'll say she made her presence worthwhile with all the but Diadem, I don't know what to where to place my hand on Diadem, but Diadem, I'm glad she's watching it with us. I think you will do better because at this point, Diadem is just forming problem, and we do it. Diadem is if really it's just that, like I said, excuse me, it's more like you want to outshine everyone or something like that. But if this is who Diadem is, which I don't know, I don't know her, I don't know, so let me don't speak for her. It was weird what she did at Miriam's event. And Miriam's photo shoot, by the way, was so awesome. Sophia also still hanged out with Anita. They spoke a little bit about Ghana and nothing much though. And then Miriam's launch came into place, and there was something at the beginning that Diadem said with Dabota that Miriam is trying to launch a beauty. It's about to be cool with them, that they're beauty brands. I'm like, beauty brand owners. That fighting with the CEO of that. I say yes, so please blow your trumpet. Like so. So they all Miriam opened her new business. It's more of whipped shea butter with some flavors and fragrance in it. And it was a big deal, of course. The celebrities, what do you expect? It's just shea butter, but they made it a very big deal. And with the packaging, with the okay, flavoring as well. So it is what it is. The ladies came in, did their thing, even pledged money, like 1 million naira. She was very happy. Then eventually, when the ladies almost all left, with the exception of that butter, which I suspect it was a planned thing. I don't know, because just like Diadem herself claimed that the call between uh, Miriam and Caroline was planned. This one too was planned with her and that butter. Meanwhile, I'm sorry I missed out on something. When Miriam was at Caroline's place, that butter called. That was after having the conversation with Diadem. She called to also hear the side of Miriam because she obviously said it that she's going to call to hear the side of Miriam. But that butter, what an irony. She was like, can't we all just be cool? I'm like, see who is talking about being cool? Are you cool with Caroline? In as much as her beef with Caroline, as Sophia said, is that it's bigger than them. That Caroline thought Sophia said she thought it was a small thing between Dabota and Caroline, but she was like, Dabota and Caroline's beef is like 14 years ago. It's bigger than all of them. So she just cuckoo come out her hand there, make she no get bonds, So true to it, Dabota called Miriam and Miriam stepped out. Yeah, in as much as I know some people will say, okay, why did she step out? See, let me tell you guys something. Miriam felt that there was no issue between Diadem and Caroline at all. She said it that when they were in Ghana, that Diadem even admired Caroline's dressing. She complimented her. Caroline even introduced her to Jocelyn. Like, she didn't think that there was any issue. And to be honest, you could see that Miriam does not want Diadem to buy into Dabota's issue. Look, Dabota and Caroline's issue is bigger than all of them. In fact, it's bigger than the show at this point. So she's trying to, I'll use the word, she's trying to shield Diadem, like, don't pull mouth inside waiting, no, this fight past our power. This fight, I'm sure when Dabota and Caroline had these issues, I don't even think Caroline, I don't think Diadem and Dabota were even friends at that time. Yeah, so Miriam just feels like, I beg, like, it's not that deep. But you see, when Dabota called Miriam, of course, everyone knows how big how big Dabota and Caroline's issues are, and so she excused herself. And obviously, Miriam would know that Dabota is calling her, of course, to hear her own side of the story. So, of course, it's going to be a very serious conversation. Unlike she being in Diadem's event and calling Caroline, is more like, see, Miriam was correct. She came in, she saw Caroline's gift. It didn't make sense. It just looked childish. It just looked like something that was, I don't know, orchestrated or instigated. So it didn't make sense. Even if I was in Miriam's shoes, I might do that. Yes. So being in Caroline's house, Dabota calling, she knows that definitely is going to be a serious conversation, and she stepped out. For me, there was no disrespect there, to be honest with you. If anything, it's Dabota and Diadem, which are the newbies. For me, they're even the ones that have been disrespectful towards these old cast members. Because last when Diadem walked into the event, Miriam's event, which she came very, very late. And that is unlike Diadem. Diadem is usually an early B. Yeah. So basically, this bully she's calling Miriam, she should look herself in the mirror. Yes. Sometimes when you're fighting something, you end up becoming that thing that you're fighting. Diadem actually walked in and bullied Miriam. Like, see, I pity Miriam. It's just that but Miriam, I felt for her, honestly speaking. Like, but that's by the way. Let's see what the reunion is going to look like. And Dabota was just seated there laughing. Well, what was she supposed to do? Yeah, so she just did what she did, supported her girl that she could not support at the other show or at the other event. So she was here now to support her. And then Diola said she came to support Miriam wearing a t-shirt of raccoon with character that she just came there to shade Miriam. Like, that lady, hi. I'm glad she came at the end of the event when at least Miriam was done with her guest and all of that. If not, if Diadem came earlier, honestly, she would have spoiled things for Miriam, claiming she came for women, supporting women and all of that. But well, probably that's the highlight of the season finale because basically there was nothing. There was really nothing. And that was how it wrapped up. So let's look forward to the reunion. How it's going to look like, what it's going to be. Because to me, I'm not a soothsayer, but when you say we should look towards the direction of what we watched from since episode 1 of this season 3 to episode 12, I just feel that the reunion is going to carry more heat on Dabota and Caroline's fight that we may never know. But I don't know if they can give us a little bit to work with, no problem. If they don't want to give us, they should go and just sort themselves. They don't have to be friends. Not everybody has to be friends. That's the way I see life. Not everybody has to be friends. Whatever they had in the past, if their thing, no wahala. But it is what it is. Let's watch what the reunion is going to be like. But honestly, the shades, Dad. Okay, let's just hope that you and Miriam will just move past this. But it was too heavy, it was too much for people that started well. Honestly, Miriam and Dadem started very well. So this issue, I'm really disappointed. But that's by the way. All right, thank you so much if you watched this point. Thank you, I so much appreciate. I hope you give this video a thumbs up. Also subscribe. More and more TV shows and other content coming your way soon. So thank you and bye.